Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your Uncle Jim here with Kidney Stories 2. And tonight we have a kidney person in need that we want to talk to you about. Tonight, Ann Hernandez is our guest. She is a nurse, a single mom of 4 children, including one autistic child. She is a cancer survivor. She is also a kidney patient on dialysis who is looking for her kidney transplant match. And as we will see, she's kind of a tough match. So this should be an interesting show. She is currently listed for a kidney transplant at the University of Illinois in Chicago. She will soon undergo a series of vaccinations and plasmapheresis treatments to ready herself for a kidney transplant. To test as a donor, and this is her given Christian name that you have to give to the center, Christine Ann Hernandez, all common spellings. Date of birth 5/4/75. Date of birth May 4th, 1975. You can call her transplant coordinator, Anita Pakrowski, Pakrasi, at 312-996-6771. That's 312-996-6771 to test for Cris. Cris is an O blood type. Your Rh factor, plus or minus, does not matter for direct donation purposes. Her center also recognizes paired donation. That's a donor swap where your donor may not match you, but may match somebody else. That's somebody else may have a donor that doesn't match them, but matches you. So you do a swap of donors. So anyone can donate on Chris's behalf. So please welcome Cris Hernandez to the show, and let's talk to Cris. All right. Hello, Cris. How are you?
Hi, Uncle Jim. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here with you this evening. So,
Likewise, likewise.
I wanted to let everybody know we have a floating banner at the bottom of our photographs that has all of the information I just gave you about Cris and her person to call and the number and, of course, website. So you can help Cris out, maybe go test for her. Let's see if we can find her a donor, okay? So,
Amen.
Cris,
Amen.
I hear you're a single mom. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
And you have 4 children. Can you tell me what their names and ages are, please?
Yes, I have I'll start with my oldest. His name is Julian. He's kind of my caretaker. Then I have a 22-year-old. He lives in Florida. Um he loves Florida. And then I have my 15-year-old Bella. She is in 10th grade. And then I have Christopher, which is he's in 8th grade. He's 13. He's in a special school for kids with autism. So,
Okay. And as I understand it, Julian, 26, he lives with you as well. Is that right?
yes, he does.
Okay. I understand that young Cris has autism. Can you tell us some of the challenges that you faced with Cris?
With Chris, he has communication issues. So, not that he can't talk, just that he has like aggressive behaviors when people like don't pay attention to the teacher, the kids. He has OCD, so he can't stay quiet and he'll start arguing with the kids. And that's something we've been working on. He also has little tics, like he'll break up papers, or even like I find anything that could be broken up, soft material, all over his room all the time. That's something that we've been working on with him, with a therapist, and I'm in the process of adding another therapist to his regimen. This is going to be an in-home therapist. They're called ABA, and they specialize with kids in autism. And I just feel he needs it because I worry about him, and I want him to be successful, if possible, when he grows up, and try to function in society, because this world
Yes.
is a scary world. And especially if you have a mom that's sick like me, it's even scarier, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask, Cris, can you describe for us the effect that your kidney issues have had on your youngest son?
Um, he worries. He worries a lot about me. He checks on me sometimes overnight to see if I'm alive. Um, he will like randomly just scream my name, you know? And lately he's been avoiding me, and he's been going to his father's house just because he doesn't want to see the dialysis machine, or he doesn't want to see me get doing dialysis. Makes him feel very uncomfortable. So
Okay.
one day they were replacing the machine, and he said, "Yay, mom, you're getting a kidney. We're getting rid of the machine." I said, "Baby, there's another machine coming, you know?" And he got really, really sad. He's like, "Why don't you just get a kidney? Go to the hospital and get fixed, Ma. That's what hospitals are for, to get fixed." And I said, "Buddy, it's just going to take a little longer, and we'll find that person that's going to help me to get a kidney. We just have to have faith in God, you know?"
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard you describe yourself as a three times warrior. Can you briefly tell us what do you mean when you say that?
Well, in 2018, when I was getting worked up for transplant, it was November 2018. December, I had my mammogram, and they found something abnormal. So they did two other mammograms, then they did a biopsy, and they found that I had what they call DCIS, was this carcinoma in situ in my left breast. And then in my right breast, I had LCIS, lobular carcinoma in situ, and atypical hyperplasia. So the transplant center immediately told me no, they can't do the transplant if I have cancer in my body, that I have to start seeing an oncologist and take care of that. And until I'm not cancer free, they can't see me. So that started a whole new journey to seeing the oncologist. Then they collaborated. They thought that it was best for me to have a double mastectomy with some lymph nodes removed. So I did that. And then in July of 2019, I was accepted into the program. I was cleared by the oncologist, and thank God everything was okay. And now I'm in the program. Well, fast forward, come 2020, I did everything by the books. I wore a mask. I was careful. I mean, I don't think anyone could be more careful than me, but I had an appointment for an annual cardiology checkup. And when I went to that appointment, somehow or another, I contracted COVID. And it was bad. It was bad. It was scary. But I survived it. I thank God. And I can't believe I survived it. I survived breast cancer. I survived COVID. And now I'm surviving kidney failure. So
That's
I have
that
three belts.
that's the three things. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And in your life, you have worked as a nurse. Can you tell us where you used to work and how long?
Well, I worked as a I started off as a high risk mother baby nurse at Northwestern, and then I transitioned into the level 3B NICU, and then that was at Mount Sinai Hospital, and I did that for a while, and then I started getting sick with like lupus and Sjogren's, and I started having what they call dysautonomia. So like I would like get like low blood pressure, or um just my body was really not reacting right. And I had to stop working there, which broke my heart, because if I had the right doctors in place, I would have had that under control. But I stopped working there, and then I started working as a primary nurse administrator at Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I also was a hospice nurse. So I did both of them, and
Okay.
then I did that. That had to do with like a lot of education and prevention. We educate and empower our patients to know their rights, know uh, what questions to ask, not to be afraid to talk to the doctors and that kind of stuff. So just kind of like a nurse navigator, empowering the patients and helping them, guide them through the healthcare system. So that's what I did.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. I'm one of those guys that needed help from time to time. Um, are you currently on dialysis? I think you mentioned that.
Yes, I'm on dialysis. I'm doing in center again dialysis, just because the machine was kind of freaking my son out. And I don't want to put that trauma on him, of him seeing me get dialysis. So if I go away to do dialysis, it's just I'm going away to an appointment and coming back home, basically.
Okay. Okay. Where are you taking dialysis right now?
I take dialysis at Fresenius in River Forest, Illinois.
Okay. And how often do you go?
I go 3 days a week at 3 hours at a time. And the only reason they have me at 3 hours was because I'm a well-behaved patient. So I uh, I don't have a lot of toxins to remove, and my tests always come out really perfect. So they keeping me at that number for now.
Okay. Tell us how you balance being a single mom and doing dialysis at the same time.
It happens. It's so hard because I my kids want to go places, or my kids want to do things, and our schedule, it revolves around dialysis. And sometimes after dialysis, I'm so tired. I'm like, I am so sorry. Can we do this like another day? Because I'm tired. And that breaks my heart, because I don't want to have to tell them no. But sometimes it's just like it's not a good day. And dialysis has impacted my life like immensely. It changed my whole life. And my life revolves around dialysis right now. I'm trying to get some control back, like I'm exercising and stuff like that, just to get some kind of normalcy. But it's still not normal, because I can't like take the kids the way I used to, and just go away for the weekend, or do fun things, or
Mhm.
take a long drive. And I can't do that anymore. And we miss that a lot. The kids miss that so much. And I hope and pray that if and when I get a transplant, we could do those things again.
Of course, of course. You talked to us a little bit about your diagnosis with lupus, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Sjogren's, Sjogren's. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What were the symptoms? What's it like? Is it connected to kidney disease?
um I had severe pain all over my body. I couldn't understand why. It kind of felt like I was like working out nonstop, but I wasn't working out. So I called my doctor and I said, "Hey, I'm having this pain all over my body. It's in every muscle. It feels like I did like 1,000 push-ups and I was lifting weights and but I wasn't." So she says, "Well, I'm gonna send you for a blood test to see what it is." And well, I got diagnosed with both diseases. And lupus does affect the kidneys, but I'm glad that they did a biopsy for me and they didn't find any lupus inside my kidneys. So the lupus didn't affect my kidneys.
Excellent. I read in 2016 you were diagnosed with medullary cystic kidney disease. What is medullary cystic kidney disease?
Medullary cystic, they're changing the name now to inherited genetic mutation kidney disease because they found during the study that there are so many variants to uh, the disease and how it's affecting the kidneys that uh, uh, um, they're not calling it that, and it doesn't have a lot of cysts inside the kidney, even though they call it medullary cystic kidney disease. It's just the way some cysts form inside the medulla. Um, and I'm actually waiting on the genetic results. I should be getting them like in 2 weeks or something like that. I sent it a while ago. And my doctors, when they did the biopsy, they said this is what the only reason why we could call it this is because of these characteristics that you have. And there's no test for it, but there's one test that this research scientist is doing, and that's the doctor I'm working with right now. So we could get to the bottom of it because both my brothers have kidney disease, kidney failure. My mom is at 3B. Her brother had a kidney transplant. Her sister has dialysis. And I have another aunt that had kidney failure. She passed away.
Okay. What led to this diagnosis? What were your symptoms? What happened? How did they find out that you had this problem?
I didn't have any symptoms. Um, in just my nursing knowledge, I sat down with my doctor and I said, "Hey, both of my brothers have kidney disease. They're one of them, his kidney's failing, and the other one's almost there. And my aunts and my uncles, they have kidney failure, and I feel like I might have kidney disease." She says, "Well, your creatinine's like only 1.12. There's no reason for you to get a nephrology appointment." I said, "I feel I have kidney disease." So anyway, when they went in to my kidneys, they were just, and they came the next day. They told me, "Well, we have bad news." And I'm like, "What's the bad news?" "Well, you lost 60% of your kidney function." I was like, "What? 60%? I didn't even have my GFR is 1.12. Like, how could that happen?" He said, "Well, since you have a small body mass, your creatinine could stay low. The larger the body mass, the higher the creatinine. And that's why you are getting away with like a normal life because you couldn't tell by your creatinine that you really had something wrong with your kidney."
Okay. I listened. I heard that by October of 2018, your GFR was at 20%. That your kidneys apparently were only functioning at a 20% level. Please tell us, how did you feel at that time when you were diagnosed? What were your thoughts?
When I was diagnosed, first off, I asked my doctor, I said, "Could you put a stent in there to open up the blood flow into my kidney?" Because I was thinking of every way we could fix it, right? And he says, "No, Christine, it's just going to keep dropping and you're going to need a kidney transplant or dialysis." So when I was like at 21, 20, proactively, I started going to transplant center and trying to get on a transplant list because I knew that I was going to need a transplant. And that led me down the journey that I'm at right now. I mean, I try being proactive and helping myself when I was 20, knowing that maybe I'll have a chance to get a kidney. But then I got like the big bombshell. I had like a very high PRA, which is a panel reactive antibody, which makes it really hard for me to find a kidney. Um, and then before you know it, I was on dialysis and I had no control of it. I've had so many people apply, and when they do a virtual cross match, my PRA always interacts and attacks the kidney. I couldn't find anyone to treat me with the proper treatment because I read like the best studies um, from the American Medical Association is plasmapheresis for a patient like me to give me the opportunity to have a transplant. Now, I was going to go to John Hopkins or Cedar Sinai because they have the plasmapheresis program. And I wanted that chance. I wanted them to lower my PRA so I could get a transplant. But guess what? I found one here in the University of Illinois. So I'm happy I don't have to travel.
They're in Chicago.
Yes.
Okay. By December of 2018, another monkey wrench. The cancer diagnosis, stage 0 ducal cell carcinoma, global cell carcinoma, and atypical hyperplasia. In other words, cancer in the breast, cancer in the abdomen. How did you deal with that? That kind of delays things as far as transplant is concerned.
I started seeing a really good oncologist at Northwestern University Medical Center, and he and the team recommended that I have a double mastectomy with lymph nodes removed. That way, they could try and get everything, and then according to the biopsy, I might need chemotherapy or I might not need chemotherapy. So I praise Jesus that they got everything and I didn't need chemotherapy, which was a blessing.
Yes. So by March 25th, 2019, you told us you had a double mastectomy. Um, how did you feel about that?
You,
All these problems, and then this comes along uh, on top. How did that make you feel, Cris?
you know, Uncle Jim, I really, really didn't get to grieve my breast cancer diagnosis, or I didn't get to grieve even the double mastectomy because I was in such fear of the kidney disease that I was like almost on hyperdrive. And I just had like a vision at the end of the tunnel getting my kidney transplant. So I didn't even get to grieve that. Like sometimes I'm in the shower and I kind of look at myself and I just start crying, because I didn't get that. I didn't get to cry. And it's something that I didn't go through. I uh I was just so super focused on getting a transplant that I did everything I had to make sure I got on that list. That was like the most important thing in my life.
So, and I noticed a reconstructive surgery by June of 2019. By July of 2019, your oncologist gave you an all clear to get a kidney transplant. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Because I know many people wait like 5 years in between diagnosis and actual transplant. So, uh, way to go, Cris.
Thank you.
Um, were you able then to get on the transplant list?
Yes, I got on the transplant list at that point. And that's when I found out about my PRA situation.
Okay. Now, when we talk about PRA, we're talking about panel reactive antibodies. That's what the acronym means. Now, it's my understanding your level is 100%. Is that a correct understanding?
Yes, that's correct. 100's the highest you could get in
So
PRA.
it pretty much means that with any blood type, with any kidney, your antibodies are going to react with it, not
Yes,
acceptable.
yes.
Okay. Um, it's my understanding from what you've told us, you found the University of Illinois and Chicago has a highly sensitized program. You found this in January of 2021. Can you talk to us a little bit about your search process? Because that just couldn't have been easy to find a place close to home.
I started looking actually once I found out I had the high PRA. I started doing like medical research and different studies and best practices for survival of myself and the graft, right? And I read about this plasmapheresis, and I called actually my old hospital, and I said, "Hey guys, can you do plasmapheresis on me? It's like the best protocol for my situation." And they said, "No, we don't do that anymore. That's old." I'm like, "Yeah, right." And I kept asking, and they said no. And then I started looking elsewhere. So I had called Cedar Sinai, and they said absolutely it's the most important thing. They do 6 months of plasmapheresis before the transplant. I would have to be there 6 months. So I was like, oh my God, I got to give my kids
That's
for
it. Were we
6 months.
talking about in New York,
Cedar
Sinai
Sinai in California.
in California? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Then I found through my genetics doctor, he has friends at John Hopkins. He says, if you want, you could go to John Hopkins and I'll just give you a referral. And right when I was about to go to John Hopkins, I found out about the hospital here in Chicago. And I'm like, wow, that's a blessing. So I met with the doctor and the nurse, and then I had my appointment, and they told me absolutely they could help me. They've had cases like mine. So that's amazing.
Yes. Tell us the surgeon that you met with that said he can help you. What's his name?
His name is Dr. Benedetti.
Okay, and they said you're a good candidate for the program, right?
Yes.
Can you describe the process of what it is they want you to go through in order to get ready for transplant? What do they have to do?
Okay, so first, they have to start by giving me immunizations. So I'm going to get the meningitis vaccine. I have to get the Haemophilus influenza vaccine. I have to get the hepatitis B vaccine. I already started getting that one. And then the pneumonia vaccine. After that, then they could start with the plasmapheresis. I don't know how that works, but I guess it's according to my body and how it takes and how the PRA washes out. And once that happens, um, with having a living donor, of course, they'll be able to donate the living donor's kidney into me. So it's like amazing.
Excellent, excellent. And it's my understanding that even after transplant, you will continue to take medications for a period of time to help you sustain the new kidneys. Is that a fair statement?
That is a fair statement. Yes.
Okay.
He has, I guess each doctor that's highly sensitized in a highly sensitized program has their own protocol and their medicines that they use. He has specific medicine he uses. And I've met people that have done it with him, and they have been very successful. Thank Jesus. So it's good to know people that have done the same thing that and went through the same thing that I'm going through.
Okay. Um, I've heard you say that you recognize there are other people that may be going through this problem with their PRA that are looking for highly sensitized programs, the people that are highly sensitized transplant candidates like you. Uh, if those people were to contact you, Cris, would you be willing to help them, at least in terms of telling them, hey, these are places that I'm familiar with that you could contact or call, and maybe they can help?
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of doing research for all the warriors and finding all the highly sensitized programs specific by name. That way, if someone reaches me, I could have a name in their state, like where they live. That way they could go to that hospital. Because actually today, another hospital called me and asked me if I was interested in their program, and I told them no, and they asked me why, and I said because you guys don't have a highly sensitized program. And they said fair enough, because they don't, you know. And highly sensitized programs are for people that have a high PRA, and there's hope out there for us.
Well, that's terrific. And just want to mention again that, if you need to find a place and you need help, Advocate Cris is ready to help you out. So, be sure to check her out if you need help. You can find her on Facebook, on Messenger. She has a kidney page. You can find her there as well. I'm going to give you all that in a minute. Just be patient. Okay. The place where you're currently listed, the University of Illinois, I have the address 1855 West Taylor Street in Chicago. Is that a correct address?
Yes.
And your transplant coordinator, that's Anita
Anita
Pacassi?
Pacrossi. Yeah.
Pacrossi, okay. Telephone number there is 312-996-6771. So if somebody wants to help you, they can call Anita and say, hey, I'd like to sit down and test for our good friend Cris Ann Hernandez, all common spellings. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, my great pleasure. Now, something else I want to talk about. This program recognizes paired donation, which is essentially a donor swap. Did I give a good explanation for that in my introduction? You have a donor that doesn't match you. Someone else has a donor that doesn't match them. Your donor matches the other recipient. Their donor matches you. You swap donors. Is that a fair description of paired donation?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. My dog is kissing me.
it's all right. It's all right. No worries. Cute pup.
Thank you.
So anyone can donate on your behalf. Any blood type can donate on your behalf. Now, for direct donation purposes, I'm an O, you're an O, we have to have an O, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, something else that people ask about is the donor testing process. And one thing I noticed in some of the earlier statements, you said the hospital you work with now, the contact is fast, the process is fast. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
So if somebody wants to donate to you, they're not going to wait around forever to hear from these guys.
No, no. They could send me a message and tell me, "Hey, I registered," and then I'll call my nurse, and they'll call them within a few days. So yeah.
Okay. As far as costs are concerned, I read that your insurance will cover all in-hospital costs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I
I want to answer Jared really quick. Yes, Jared, he's a Yorkie.
well, they would
Doc,
get us confused with Pomeranians all the time. So
yeah, Doc made an entrance. I'm sorry.
it's all right. That's his name, Doc?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's my doctor.
um, for people that travel, there are travel vouchers available at some hospitals for out-of-town donors. We want to mention that too, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Even hotel vouchers.
Okay. I want to mention again, your date of birth is May 4th, 1975. If someone calls up, they have to know your date of birth. Your correct
Absolutely. And my
given
full
name
name.
is Christine A. or Ann, common spelling, Hernandez. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about your motivation to get a transplant, because there's some people that'd rather stay on dialysis. There are some people that are afraid of the cost of anti-rejection medication. What is your motivation to get a transplant? What is the reason that you want to do this?
Um, uh, First and foremost, it's to bring normalcy back into my house, because my kids have been like deeply traumatized by the whole situation that we've been through and our transition. Um, Also, I'm looking forward, honestly speaking, to get back out there and helping patients like me navigate through the healthcare system. And I don't know if I'm going to be a transplant OR nurse or a transplant coordinator. But I know whatever kind of nurse I'm going to be when I finish, it's going to be a nurse that's going to provide information and empowerment to my patients.
That's wonderful.
I'm
That's
looking
wonderful.
forward to like small things like little vacations, spontaneous with my kids. I'm I don't want to tell them no anymore. I want to tell them yes. Yes, you want to go? Let's go. You want to go to Wisconsin? Let's go to Wisconsin. You want to go to Indiana? Let's go to Indiana. Let's go for a ride. Let's stay the weekend without having to worry that, hey, I have dialysis. And our lives will be so much different and so much better. And it'll be like a blessing from God to be able to get that transplant. So I pray every single day for that. And um, I have a feeling that is going to happen. When, I don't know, because it's all in due time, right? And I'll be the best nurse I can be. I mean, I was an awesome nurse to begin with. I gave my patients 110% of my time. I made sure that I treated them as I would treat my family members, even though they were complete strangers. And I think that's why I have such a good support system in you guys. And I met you. I felt like God sent me you guys because I was a good nurse to my patients, and I'll continue to be a good nurse to my patients.
Okay. I want to point out the Brothers Brown have made you a kidney page on Facebook, Kidney for Christine Ann Hernandez. You can find it at www.facebook.com/kidney for Christine Ann Hernandez. So if you want to keep up with what's going on with Christine and her transplant and her testing and plasmapheresis, that would be the place for you to look. Go to that page, share up, share it with your friends, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all your social media platforms. Please let's try to do everything that we can to get the word out about Cris. That's Kidney for Christine Ann Hernandez on Facebook. Now, I saw that you did an interview with NBC Channel 5 in Chicago. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I had reached out to them uh because I wanted to get my story out there, and I felt like if people heard my story, they might feel compelled to apply. And I met like s- one of the most amazing news reporters on earth. And she has been there for me still, even after the interview. She supports me, she shares my stuff. And um I feel like just people have to get their names and their word out there. You go into different news sites, you email them your story. Eventually, somebody's going to say your story. You can't give up and just send one letter. You copy and paste that letter, send it to every news station you can, and they'll tell you a story, and it'll help you. It'll help you get to the next level and maybe finding your miracle donor.
Okay, and this amazing reporter's name is?
Regina Mendel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
She's
The other
amazing.
the other thing that I saw is that you guys have done a couple of TikTok videos. I saw that on your personal page. Really kind of cute broadcast for what's going on with Cris. Tell us a little bit about that.
I started doing TikToks. I found that I might reach different audience that might be interested in donating a kidney. So I've had like one or two people tell me that they're interested. I don't know if they even moved forward with the process, but I feel like TikToks is another way to go to reach out to people. They have a really huge audience, and each audience is broken up into like registered nurses have like 39 million. Like there's a lot of people on TikTok. So I do TikToks maybe like once a week, and I have a pretty large following. I mean, large for me, it's almost like 2,000 people. But I'm gonna do what I have to do to try to get my word out there and educate people and try to get people interested in organ donation, because all you need is one kidney to survive. If you donate a kidney, expenses aren't on you; they're on my insurance, and they're covered through my insurance. Even the flights and the hotels have vouchers, so you're covered. And if you're local, it's even better.
Yeah. Okay, so you you're in the process of overcoming kidney failure. You've overcome cancer. Um, you mentioned to us earlier that you also contracted the coronavirus, COVID-19. Can you tell us a little bit about that? When did that happen?
That was in December, and when I got COVID, I kind of knew I had COVID. There was something in my body that didn't belong there. It was the weirdest feeling, Uncle Jim. I had a high fever, and I felt almost like a pain throughout my body traveling. And I told my son, I said, "Hey, everybody wear a mask. I have a very high fever. I got to go to the hospital. I think I got COVID." And the only reason I went to the hospital was because I'm a kidney failure patient, you know? And when I went to the hospital, they checked me and they told me, "Yes, you do have kidney failure." And then the doctors talked amongst themselves. They came back in and they told me, "We're going to offer you this medicine. It's called monoclonal antibody. You've heard it as Regeneron. And this is like basically going to give you a chance to fight." And I read on it, I read the side effects. They weren't that bad. And I put my arm out. I was like, "Go ahead," because I need a fight. If I'm going to fight, I need a fair fight. So I need you guys to help me. So they basically um, gave me the infusion and finished an hour later. Then they checked me for another hour. They sent me home. My fevers were ridiculously high, but I didn't get anything else but high fevers and some GI symptoms. I had some neuropathy, but it could have been a lot worse, you know? And I find it like miraculous that they gave me that medicine. I came home and basically I was okay. And besides the aches and pains, severe aches and pains, I survived COVID. I couldn't believe it. I thought I wasn't going to make it, and I made it. And I was like, "Praise Jesus. I beat COVID. Like, holy crap." It was 14 days later and I'm like, "I'm alive," you know? And I thank God for that. They still check me every once in a while to see if I start having respiratory symptoms. And I said, "No, I don't." have any respiratory. I'm fine. I'm even doing exercise, so I know I don't have any respiratory symptoms.
Mhm.
But it's amazing.
Can you describe for us since that time the precautions that you and your family are taking to avoid the COVID-19 virus?
Well, we're still using masks. We're still quarantined. Um, we don't really go out much. Um, and we're waiting for the vaccine. I have to wait 90 days for the vaccine just because I had that monoclonal antibody. And if I have it before it interacts with the vaccine, but like I'm waiting for my son to be able to qualify for it because ironically he didn't get COVID, you know, and he was at risk. He was in the same house, and we took all the precautions necessary so he wouldn't get it, you know.
You're
So
talking about young Chris.
no, I'm talking about my oldest son, Christopher. When I got COVID, I sent him away to grandpa and dad's house to make sure he didn't get it at all. So we were safe with that. We were monitoring his temperature for 14 days and he didn't have a temperature. So that
Okay.
was a blessing.
All right. Um, so you've got to wait a little bit before you take the vaccine. Let's assume that the wait time goes by. Are you going to have any hesitancy as a candidate for transplant taking any of the COVID-19 vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, or the new Johnson and Johnson product?
Absolutely not. I am going to get the vaccine. I feel like that's the only way uh, us humans are going to have a chance to kind of eradicate that disease is by everybody getting it, or for the most part, most of us to kind of get some kind of herd immunity and it could just kind of be gone and go where it came from, you know? So I'm going to participate in that. My kids are going to participate in that. My little ones, once it's available for them, they're going to participate in it just because uh, we need it, you know? So I'm going to.
Mm, excellent, excellent. Um, I also understand that you've done a little kidney advocacy work with the NKF of Illinois. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I'm participating right now in a program called Take Charge, and we meet once a week for 2 hours. And what we talk about is different ideas on coping strategies or things that patients might not know that might improve their lives. And just it's a group on education and empowerment for kidney patients.
Excellent, excellent. Um,
I'm
tell us
also part
that.
of another group that meets twice a year with NKF. We haven't met yet, but that one's a whole different group. I haven't gotten what um, it's about, but they asked me to be on board, and I'm on board.
Excellent, excellent. You mentioned that there are some people that have helped you that you would like to thank. I'm going to give you your opportunity to do that now. Is there anybody that has helped you along the way that you would like to say thank you to?
Yes, I would like to thank Jeff Brown for being up, having so many sleepless nights, creating his amazing, iconic posters. Jared Brown, he was the first Brown brother I met. I was on Warrior's Quest. Boom, boom. And then Lisa Baxter for her uh, inspirational texts every day, which get me through my day. I thank her so much. I love her. And Steve Belcher, because he's the one that introduced me to this whole kitty world I had no idea about. So I'm grateful for that, and I'll always his friend.
Okay.
And I'm grateful for you, Uncle Jim, for responding to my spontaneous texts and emails and answering my phone calls.
Oh, no worries. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. Um, is there anything else you would like to discuss tonight? Maybe something I forgot to ask you about, or something that's new, different, or exciting? Is there anything I left out tonight that I didn't cover?
Oh no, you covered everything. I just want people to know that kidney transplantation, living donation is so important. It's a key, it's a missing puzzle to people like me to complete me. And it doesn't cost anything. All you need is one kidney to live a normal life and healthy life. So if you're healthy and you're willing to share your spare, please consider donating your kidney to me and helping my kids and I have some kind of normalcy. And I promise I'll pay it back. I am going to pay it back because this is not my ending. This is just my beginning. Thank you.
No. Well, Cris, I appreciate you taking time to come on the show and talk to us tonight. What an amazing kidney story you have. Uh, Kidney survivor, cancer survivor, COVID survivor, uh, autistic child. I mean, just a great example of how to overcome obstacles. I'm so proud to be your friend. Thank you
Thank you,
tonight for
Jim.
taking time.
I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend. All
All
right,
righty.
everybody get out there and pass Chris's story around. Let's see if we can help her out, okay?
God bless everyone. Bye bye.
All right, that's Kidney Stories 2 uh, for tonight. Got some interesting guests coming up for you in the future. Our friend Armand Holland is going to be on with us, the recent Advocate of the Year for the National Kidney Foundation. Our lady friend is gotten better. She's going to be back. You know the one I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm trying to get a couple of docs for you to come on and talk a little bit about palliative care. So working on that for you. So we will see you soon. I will see you on the 26th. Take care. And don't forget to share Chris's story. Okay. Good night, everybody.